What is going on, everybody? My name is Dakota and welcome back to Coda's Cologne. And today we're going to be going over 6 fragrances that you should buy that special lady in your life. Now, of these 6 fragrances, what we're going to do is we're kind of going to start at the bottom and work our way to the top. So the bottom's going to be a little cheaper, the top's going to be more top tier. And what I decided to try to do is kind of put like 1 or 2 cheaper ones, 1 or 2 middle of the road, 1 really nice one, and 1 that is my personal favorite in my wife's collection. It's kind of like an overall winner. So that's kind of how we're going to roll with this one. So with that being said, let's get into it. All right, so first up on the list is going to be Aaro's Wanted for Women. This is the original Wanted one. And to me, the bottle is actually really cool on this because you can either push here or you can either press right here or you can pull down on that. This does have a very good atomizer. The presentation looks very nice and the scent is also very nice as well. So this is not an overly complicated fragrance. This is pretty much a sweet floral. That's kind of what you get, and that's all kind of neat out of this. To me, this would fall under like, in my wife's collection, this kind of falls under like a spring and fall type fragrance. The main notes that you're going to get out of this is going to be ginger, pomegranate, tonka, and patchouli. And this is the 50 ml bottle. All the prices we're going to go over today, these are all going to be prices listed from discounters because that's going to obviously be the best bang for the buck. The price on this one, you can get the 50 ml on this one for anywhere from 30 to 40 bucks. This is the cheapest one on the list, and performance is rock solid. Really no complaints on this one. But yeah, that is going to be Aaro's Wanted for Her. All right, now second up on this list is going to be DOL Cabana, the only one eau de parfum. This is one of the sweeter fragrances that's going to be on this list. This has a real heavy caramel and fruity note with just a little bit of coffee hint to it as well. In her collection, this one falls more of like a fall and winter type fragrance. Now, performance-wise on this, unfortunately, the performance is just a little bit lacking on this, so that's kind of why it's this far down on the list. Scent profile-wise, this thing is absolutely gorgeous. So this was a favorite when we first got it, and as far as smells go, this one is still a favorite. This one has notes of pear, iris, caramel, rose, and vanilla. And like I said, performance is a little bit weaker on this, so you may have to spray this one just a little bit heavy. But the 50 ml bottle of this only runs you about 45 to 50 bucks. So the price for what you get, to me, it still warrants a purchase, and I'm happy this is in her collection. All right, now third on the list, we're kind of moving up a little bit, and this one is a new release, funny enough. This is going to be Versace's Dylan Purple. This was just released this year. Right when it released, I went out and bought my wife a bottle of it because I like buying her stuff as much as I like buying me stuff. I was pleasantly surprised with this. This one is very fruity and floral forward. So it's got a fresh fruity floral twist to it. It's got a little bit of citrus vibe to it. It is very fresh. This is going to be one of those that kind of falls in that spring to summer type of category. This does have a big pear note in it, and the pear is kind of harder to pick up as an individual note, but it does contribute a lot to that fruity sweetness that you get on the opening and the dry down. Now for Versace, for the women's line, the performance on this one is just a little bit weak. So that's really the only drawback to this one. Is for how this is, I kind of wish the performance lasted just a little bit more. This one has notes of pear, blood orange, pomerose, and Virginia cedar. So you do get a little bit of a wood note in this, but for how this is blended up, it's more of a softer fragrance. And with some of that fruity, fresh twist that you get off of this, to me, I'm really glad I bought this. This will warrant a purchase every time in her collection. This may be ones that she holds on to for a long time because this is one of her personal favorites as well. And this one, for the 100 ml, I believe, you can get this one for anywhere from that 65 to 75 range. I want to say I was right when this first came out, it immediately went to discounters. I think that I got this off of Joma's shop for like 76 bucks. All right, now fourth up on this list is going to be Donna Valentino's Coral Fantasy for Women. Not to be confused with the Coral Fantasy for men, because there is a Coral Fantasy in both men's and women's lines. And what I like about this one is this one has like a tropical fruity vibe with little hints of floral in the top. And it also, as this starts to dry down, it stays very light. It stays very fresh. It's almost like a refreshing tropical vibe to it. Perfect for those really hot days. This is a summer fragrance for sure. The performance on this one is pretty good. It's not amazing, but it's pretty rock solid for what you get. This one does tend to linger on her skin just a little bit more. This one has notes of kiwi, Brazilian orange, jasmine, rose, and Texas cedar. So this is very sweet floral. It's kind of wild how they got some of the tropicalness out of this, because you wouldn't picture that breakdown being a real like tropical fruity scent, but it blends in very well with that. And this is going to be the 100 ml bottle. 100 mils of this will run you anywhere from 90 to 110 this time of year, just kind of depending on what site you get on, discounters such as that. Highly recommend this one. This is, again, this is number 4 on the list. These next 2 or 3 could argue a place to be as one of the favorites. So yeah, this is gonna be Donna Valentino Coral Fantasy. Alrighty, and 5th up on this list. So this is gonna be my personal favorite on the list, and this is gonna be Prada Paradox. Now this is the Paradox in the Eau de Parfum. They just released a Paradox Intense. To me, I like this one just a little bit more. This one's a little bit softer, a little bit more subtle. You're gonna get some floral notes, you're gonna get some sweet amber, you're gonna get a little bit of citroness, you're gonna get some powderiness to this. And this also has a really beautiful vanilla scent in it as well. This one to me is one of the more complete perfumes in her collection. This is more of a spring and fall type of scent. It's light, it's floral. For what this is, it's not heavy, but this has rock solid performance. This thing projects good, it leaves a good CR trail. Every time she wears this, I know exactly what she's wearing. I can smell her coming toward me, everything else. So this one right here, 100% warrants a purchase in any woman's collection. Or if you're watching this video to figure out maybe what you want to buy that special lady in your life, this one right here is my personal favorite out of every perfume she has. This one has notes of pear, orange blossom, tangerine. It also has jasmine, bourbon, vanilla, amber, and one of my favorite notes in general, benzoin. Most fragrances that have benzoin always have like a warm, inviting, mature sweetness to them, and to me, that's exactly how you could describe this one. But because this is 5th on the list, this is more of a top tier. This is more of a premium quality in the world of designer. The 100 ml on discounters will run you probably somewhere in that 110 to 130 range. Really kind of depends on where you're getting at. And with this time of year, they're always running new discount codes, new sales, new specials. Probably 110 to 120 is going to be the safest bet for this one. I'll go ahead and get on this. And this is going to be Prada Paradox. This is the original, the Eau de Parfum. Alrighty, and last but not least on this list, the reason this one is the overall winner is if you look at it as a complete package, this one is one of my favorites. This one is definitely my wife's favorite, and that is going to be Yves Saint Laurent Black Opium Eau de Parfum. Now they do have a newer one that is a Le Parfum. That one is very good as well, but for the sake of this video, this one's a little easier to find. This one's just a little bit cheaper. And also this one, my wife likes a little bit more than that one. This one is probably one of the most solid fragrances in my wife's collection. This is one she's had for a while, and this is one that she's loved for a while. The moment she bought this one, she absolutely loved it. And YSL, they have an impeccable name, just like Prada. They're made of more natural ingredients. They're not synthetic. They're amazing quality. On this one's going to be the 90 mil. This one will run you about 100 to 110. The biggest note in this one is this has a beautiful sweet vanilla. This has a coffee note, and this also has like a warm floral with a little bit of wood notes in there. This is good projection. This is good longevity. This is all day performance. You won't have to refresh this one. 5 to 7 sprays normally gets my wife all the way through. The only downside of this one is this is a dominant cold weather fragrance. This fragrance likes to be cold. So if you had to have one that was like a cold weather signature fragrance, this one would be it. This one has notes of pear, pink pepper, coffee, jasmine. It has some bitter almond and cedar. So that's where you're gonna get some of that wood note down at the very base of this. This one is a 10 out of 10 in my wife's collection. It's a 10 out of 10 in my opinion as well. And on top of that, this Prada Paradox, these two right here, if I could only pick one to buy out of this whole thing, I would probably pick one of these two, but that's just my opinion. I prefer this one a little more. My wife prefers this one a little more, so might be able to try to blend that in somewhere. Obviously, if you can, try to get a sample of anything that you want to buy. That's normally my piece of advice. But if you're trying to surprise her with something, if you're trying to surprise that special lady in your life, you can't really go wrong with any on these lists. There was a small kind of similarity with all these. A lot of these are going to be a floral and sweeter style fragrance. Now some of these were lighter, some of these were heavier. On that one, that would kind of be what you feel like she would like more. So yeah, that's going to be the 6 I'm going with today. Any of these are going to be rock solid. Out of my wife's perfume collection, she's got about 30 or 40. We picked these 6 out together as to be the most solid, best bang for the buck, best overall performance. That's kind of how we built out this video. On top of that, just overall scent quality. So that's kind of where this one was headed. Or that is going to get us wrapped up on the 6 fragrances that you should look into for buying that special woman in your life, especially if you're someone like me and you love fragrances, you love talking about fragrances. Not only do I like to smell good, I love it when my wife smells good as well. There's something about the little confidence boost you get with that. It's kind of fun to play back and forth with it. But that is going to wrap up today's video. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for subscribing, for staying tuned. I hope you like this kind of video. I've never really done one like this before. If you like what you see here, let me know on the feedback. Let me know if you kind of let me know if y'all want to see a little more of like suggestive style videos rather than just base reviews, because I do kind of want to branch off into that. But given the nature of the YouTubes and everything right now, they do kind of get beat on pretty heavy, and opinions are always so subjective. It kind of makes it difficult. But that's enough jibber jabbering. I'm going to get this wrapped up. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.